Good morning, YouTube. Well, I think as you can see behind me, I am in Death Valley today. Just getting here after a little bit of a mishap with a broken injector line on the bus. Was able to get that fixed in a town 30-40 miles away from here, and back on the road. So we're going to explore Death Valley. I'm not sure how many videos I'm going to get out of here, but this is the first one. And we're going to see, there's a whole lot to see down this way, including visiting the lowest spot in the continental United States. So let's get on the road and let's see what kind of adventure we can find. So my first stop is Ashford Mills, and this is the ruins of the office building. We'll get over to where the mill was. The brothers who built this, the idea was that they were crushing ore from a gold mine that was 5 miles east. I think that's that direction. And they built it in 1907, and they closed the mill in a year later. It was just not profitable, and I think what they did, they actually leased it to a number of companies, and each company defaulted on the lease, returned it to the brothers. They leased somebody else. They probably made more money leasing it to other people than they actually did crushing ore. So the actual gold mine, the owners of that sold it to a count for $50,000, who later sold it for $105,000, but it also closed. Mining in Death Valley was a very extreme kind of deal. So this is basically the foundations is what's left. It's just ruins. There's remnants of a concrete pad that I'm standing on right here, and so this is all that's left of that operation. I wonder what that was, like a holding pond? I don't know, man. There's no water down here. So anyway, that's the first stop, and we're down here in the floor of the valley. I mean, you can see snow on the mountain. Maybe you can way over that way. So let's explore a little more, shall we? Okay, I'm in Badwater Flats. It's the lowest point in the continental United States, 282 feet below sea level, which is pretty close to the opposite of where I grew up. In western New York, I think it was around 254 feet above sea level, somewhere around that. So I'm basically under the ocean as far as I grew up above the ocean. When I get up closer, there's a sign that shows where sea level is. It doesn't look like much, but it's a ways. What I'm walking down is a big pathway of salt. It's this is called Badwater Flats, and it was named that by the surveyor that came through, and he couldn't get his mule to drink out of the water. And it's not poisonous, it's just really, really salty. So what causes there to be water here all the time is that basically the water is seeping up through cracks in the limestone underneath here, and it started out as glaciers and snow during the Ice Age, and up in the mountains when it melted, it's made its way slowly down through, and there's water here all the time. This is a home to a species of snail that lives in the salt water here. It's the only place it's found, and people used to tramp all over this, but now they've pretty much got an established walkway. It's sort of cool. It's all salt, and it's sort of spongy to walk on. Not, you know, spongy, just sort of soft like you're walking on an anti-fatigue mat. And there are spots, I'll get to one soon, that there's like a little pothole and there's sea water underneath it, and it's only down about 7-8 inches. That's probably why it's spongy, is underneath here it's still wet down far enough where the sun can't bake it out. This is one of those potholes I was talking about. You can see it's sort of damp down the bottom. So I don't think it rained here. So now I think I'm going to head back to the bus, have a little lunch at the lowest point, and then continue on, see what I can find. So now I'm at a natural bridge, and I've been through seeing 4 different kinds of natural bridges. First one, not on these travels when I was younger, was one where a cavern had collapsed on either side. It was down in Virginia. One, if you were with me way back when I was in Florida, where the river dove underground, went for a distance and popped up, leaving a few sinkholes, but that was where the Battle of Natural Bridge was. The third kind was at Arches, where a ridge of rock the softer rock got worn away and caused an arch, or a natural bridge. This one was caused by a stream flowing down off the mountain behind us. Came down, following a natural course. There was a bend right here, and eventually it wore through this, and then as more water came through, made it bigger and bigger and washed the canyon out that I just had to hike up. So one remnant of that initial breakthrough is up here where it came through and it carved out a spot up there before it opened up enough to cause a cavern. So there we go. 4 kinds of natural bridges, and I don't know if there's another kind. We'll have to keep looking. Well, that finishes up day 1 of me here in Death Valley. I'm at the Furnace Creek Campground, which is basically a huge gravel lot with God knows how many spots. Across the way where the palm trees are, that's a hotel called the Ranch. There's another one up the road I don't think you'd be able to see. That's the Furnace Creek Resort, and it's one of 2 resorts that were in here built back in the day. But I get to enjoy at least this really cool view of the mountains. I'm going to spend 2 nights here, and tomorrow I'm going to do a little cleaning on the bus, windows and the sides. The rain that I drove through the other day cleaned a lot of the dust off, but there's still some streaking nastiness on the windows, and I'm going to try to scrub out the diesel fuel that sprayed out of the line when that broke and I lifted the cover. Maybe I can get some of the diesel smell out. So I'm going to work on that. I'm going to edit this video. Good cell coverage here, so hopefully I'll be able to upload this. And day after tomorrow I'll get back on the road, and I'm going to head farther to the west or northwest. The map says the road to Scotty's Castle is closed because of floods back in 2015. I'm hoping the map is out of date and I can get into it. If not, there's a couple other things along the way that we'll get into in the next video. So see you later, YouTube.